Hello everyone, welcome back to Lynn's Home today. Today's video, we got to work on farm truck again. Now I did get the brake light fixed. It was a whole thing. I deleted wires out of the dashboard. I ran the wires where I think it'd be more efficient, and it is. So brake lights on farm truck work. I'm kind of debating the problem that I have with the one rear wheel lockup. It's always the right one. And I left a lot of room between the drum and the shoes. I'm not exactly sure, but as old as this truck is, there's possibly it could be a seal problem on the rear axle. But I will get into that a little bit later. What we need to do, we need to try to figure out what is going on with the engine. Now, a little background. Now, this truck's got 133,000 miles, okay? Normal engines of this era, 100,000 most of the time is when you rebuild them. Most of the time. Well, it's 33,000 miles past it. Now, the compression is decent on this truck, but the valve guides are worn out. Because leaded gas, I also actually gave lubrication to the valve guides. Unleaded gas, don't. So it wears the valve guides out. At this time, I don't have the money, let alone the time, to pull the top half of the engine off and take the heads out and get them done. Personally, I wouldn't mind getting some, I don't know, I got 194 valves in it now on the intake. I wouldn't mind bumping it up to 202. But that's just my thought. So we're going to be using tools that maybe some of you have not seen before, because these newer ones do not have a distributor. One of them is a vacuum gauge. It's an old one. It's made to actually fit in the dashboard, but this works really good. The other one is a timing light. You hook these up to the battery and this to the #1 spark plug. We'll be using this. But before we can even tune this engine, also other tools I have basically is a small flathead screwdriver for the Holley carburetor, a 9/16 wrench for the distributor hold down, and of course a 5/8 socket to get the spark plugs out. So that's the first thing I got to do before we tune this thing up. I got to take spark plugs out, and I'm gonna take them out, and then I'm gonna kind of show you so I can keep this video down to a very bare minimum. We're gonna get to the point. We're gonna get to the problem. We're gonna get this thing running right. Let's get started. Okay. Cylinder 1, 3, 5, and 7. They were saturated with oil. Cylinder 2, 4, 6, 8. Still the same. Just saturated. So, I gotta take these things in. You already seen my spark plug cleaner in action, so I won't bore you with that. But I'm gonna get these things all cleaned up and check the gap and reinstall. Now, for those of you who don't know, on Chevrolet engines, the old ones, on the intake, the original intake, there is a number. Each number represents what cylinder it is. #1's on the left bank. #2 is on the left. It goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7. So when it comes time to hook up my test light, I'll run the cables over, hook it to the battery, and I'll connect it onto this cylinder here. There is a timing mark I'll show you on the front of the dampener, which is on the flywheel. So let me get these spark plugs clean and gap, and I'll be right back. Okay, now in order to get these things clean, I had to use a brush and some gasoline. So you can kind of see how clean they are. And they are gapped perfectly. Not that I had to re-gap them anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and screw these things in, get them tight, and put spark plug wires on. When we come back, I'm going to show you how to hook set up for the tune. I got the spark plugs in. They're nice and clean. Got the power hooked up to my test light, or timing light. I'm going to try to show you where it is way down there. Now I used a 5/8 wrench. Coffee bug. It might be a little hard to see. See the timing mark there? And there's a little tick mark on the plate. Now, since I have HEI, I got ignition system of an 85 and a 72. And they require about 12 degrees before top dead center, and that's what that little tick mark is up there. So, I got the pickup on number 1 spark plug wire. So we're going to start the engine up and let it warm up, and then we're going to set the timing. Okay, I checked the timing. See if I can't get you in there. So hard to see when you got the sun in your face. Now I'm supposed to be around 12. I'm at 20. So, what I got to do, I got to move the distributor. Okay. It moved just a little bit, but I think the way it sounds pretty good. See, when you have your timing advanced so far, it causes problems to the engine. I don't know how it moved. I guess just age and it sitting around so much. But it sounds pretty good. So now, I'm going to take this test light off and we are going to adjust the carburetor. Okay. Started a little easier. So we got the vacuum gauge here. And we got about 18 inches of vacuum, as you can see here. So, we need to make sure everything's down. So let's first hook up my distributor. Vacuum is in. Okay. That actually brought it almost up to 20. What I like to do is each screw, we're going to turn it out until it's drops. And we're going to look, make sure how many revolutions we do that. That's half. One. Kind of scary. should be seriously wrong. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. This thing should shut off. Okay, we're going to shut it off from now because it only seems that it's only running on this jet. So we're going to turn this in. You're going to back it out half and one revolution is when I'm going to turn this thing out. Half, that's hot, and one. So let's get it started and see what it does. So now, both sides are the same. Let's see what kind of vacuum they got. 20. Oh, actually not 20. Then about 19 inches of vacuum. A little over. So that's not bad. Notice the needle is pretty solid. So the valve guides are worn, but the valves are still doing their job. If that would be bouncing around, I'd be a little nervous. So let's try turning it 1/4 turn. Right on 20. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Right at 20. So, the carburetor is balanced. Normally, you run these about 1.5 revolutions to go plus or minus to get the best economy out of this motor. So we are sitting really good, very happy with it. So one thing I'll have to do, I got a little plug here, we got to take the port vacuum off, which you notice it'll raise up. Now guys, when I bought this carburetor to put on this truck, I bought this same time I had to change the head gaskets because they were rusted and they were leaking. The distributor had a loose bushing in it. It was nothing problem. Carburetor was water jet, it's junk. I took it off. I got a thread to a square bore. This is a 600 Holley square bore. And I tell you, I went from 6 miles to the gallon to about 13. But being this thing was out of time, it's going to change how my gas mileage is now. So I'm hoping to be able to drive the thing this week at work. I want to go through a whole, I want to make sure whatever bugs are in this thing are out. Because I got something coming up for farm trucks. That's why I wanted to show you in this video on how to tune a classic truck. This goes the same with any Chevrolet. Just have to remember the firing order. 1-8-436-572. Find number 1 on your distributor. You got to bring the timing mark up on top dead center. You look at your valves and they should be loose. Then you see where it is on the distributor, and you can actually mark it like I do with a Sharpie. So, sounds pretty good. It sounds even. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time here in Lynn's Homestead. You have an awesome day.